Welcome to the first ever episode of the AA podcast. I'm your host, Aiden Hammond.
And I'm Aditya Shah.
So a little background. We actually recorded an episode of this last week.
And it wouldn't upload.
It wouldn't upload. We got it fully edited and everything. It was a little infuriating, but
I think we fixed the problem.
I think we fixed it. We got a better microphone this time. We're recording on a real microphone and not just my phone.
Yeah, that's always better.
So that's better. So let's get right into talking ball.
Yeah, well, so basically we're just gonna be talking about basketball on this podcast. Neither of us follow college ball super seriously, so this will mainly be about the NBA.
Yep.
But yeah, we're just two teenagers that have nothing better to do with our time. So
yeah, that was a little too real for me. All right. So first thing on the slate. Paul George made his Los Angeles Clippers debut this week.
The way he played, his offense was great, but
his offense is always great, though.
Yeah, but his defensive rotations were not as great, which I think comes with, because I think Doc Rivers
comes with the territory a little bit, because Doc Rivers is not gonna, it's Doc Rivers. He's kind of set in his ways a little bit. Not that that's a bad thing, but it's gonna take a little bit for him to feel out Paul George. That's why he's a great coach.
Because I think there was a thing that said Doc Rivers didn't play Paul George with the starters and the few practices he had while he was healthy. So and it's a completely new environment. He just got back from his injury, so he hasn't played much with the team. So it's expected. But he looked great, and that's promising for the Clippers for games where Kawhi and Paul George are both there.
Which is hopefully, maybe 40 games this year.
Yeah, hoping Kawhi doesn't sit out too much.
At the same time. So, next on the list, DAngelo Russell is hurt, which sucks for you.
Because he's on my fantasy team.
He's on your fantasy team.
So many injuries, bro, this season.
There were a lot of injuries this week. So, according to Adrian Wojnarowski, the legend himself, my favorite Twitter follow, another Golden State Warrior All-Star is out. Warriors guard DAngelo Russell will be reevaluated with a sprained right thumb in 2 weeks. That sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks for anybody who likes basketball and anybody who likes DAngelo Russell.
I don't think the Warriors mind too much. They're already
I don't think the Warriors care.
The only thing that would hurt is the fact, because I still believe that the Warriors are looking to trade DAngelo Russell as soon as they can.
I think that's... we have two very opposing views on this because I think that's absurd. I don't know why they would have traded for him and given him a max contract.
Because it's better than Kevin Durant leaving for nothing. They at least got a player back they can trade for assets.
Yeah, but I feel like... Yeah, that makes sense, but I feel like... I think Tass Mellis said it of the No Dunks podcast, who is also a great Twitter follow. I think he said that it's nice to see the Warriors trying to maximize Steph Curry's prime. And I legitimately think that that's what they're doing. I think that they're trying to build around him as much as they possibly can.
Which is why they need to trade DAngelo Russell, because he does not fit with that team. He needs the ball in his hand to be effective. Steph Curry does. Klay Thompson's good enough to play the 3, but I'd rather have him play the 2. DAngelo Russell's too good to come off the bench.
Yeah.
They need an all-star big man if they want to win again.
Either
that or a wing.
I don't think they need an all-star.
Maybe not all-star.
I think
they need a good big man.
If they had Steph Curry healthy, he'll probably be healthy because it's a hand. Klay Thompson healthy, which is a little riskier because that's an ACL and that's a little harder to come back from. And then Draymond Green healthy, he's usually pretty healthy, so I don't know why he wouldn't. If they added Robert Covington and somebody else from the Timberwolves,
here's what I think would work is if they traded D'Lo, Robert Covington, and a few picks. And they used those picks and maybe some of their young bench players and went out and got an above-average big man.
That's true. I don't think... sorry, Willie Cauley stands. That was so bad.
I don't think there's any stands for Willie Cauley.
You don't think so? You don't think Willie Cauley-Stein has any stands?
I don't think he's really been good enough to build up a fan base.
Yeah, that's true. Sorry to all the Willie Cauley-Stein fans out there. I don't think he's an above-average big man. No. I think he is. I think he cuts it average straight up.
He's just average,
fine. Yeah. He's probably one of those guys that's like a 10-10 machine on a good team. But
he's kind of young still. But I don't see him improving his game very much from what it is now.
Yeah. I don't really. I'll be honest. Now, that big man could be James Wiseman.
That's true if he's eligible.
Well, he can come out anyway if he's because he's technically.
That's true,
but
I
don't really know how those draft rules work.
I think as long as he stays in the NCAA, again, I don't follow college ball much, but I think if he stays in the NCAA, he can't go to the draft.
Okay,
them,
yeah.
I don't
well,
know.
I think you just have to be over 19 now.
I don't know.
So if James Wiseman.
Oh, pardon my dogs.
Yeah, that's a little bit of an issue, but it's okay. So the Warriors could potentially get James Wiseman, which would be ridiculous if they actually managed to pull that off.
Yeah, that'd be
some people, especially some people we know, would throw a fit.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Lil Gordo.
Gordon Hayward. Oh my.
Gordon Hayward.
Yeah. So.
Hold on, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, we are back.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry about that. The good boy and the good girl are somewhere else where they
won't be heard as loud.
Yeah, they will probably still be heard though, maybe, because they are loud.
They're very loud.
So we were just about to talk about Lil Gordo, Gordon Hayward, greatest Celtic of all time.
Not yet, dude. I don't think so yet. But he was having a really good season.
He was having a great season.
Which was nice to see after his previous injury.
Yeah, I mean, that was something that I don't know if I expected to see that, but it was like I kind of figured that maybe he just needed it like a year and a half or 2 years to really fully recover, and then he'd be okay.
But this is better than I thought he would do.
So Gordon Hayward, Lil Gordo.
What was his wrist? I think was.
I believe it was his wrist. Let me take a look to see what Mr. Wojnarowski said.
Quick gander.
So after taking a proper gander and seeing what Mr. Wojnarowski had to say, actually he retweeted something from Tim Bontemps at Tim Bontemps on Twitter. Mr. Tim Bontemps reports that the Celtics announced Gordon Hayward will miss 6 weeks after undergoing successful surgery today to repair a 4th metacarpal fracture in his left hand. That sucks.
Yeah. Wait, who said that again? I didn't quite pick it up.
Yeah, Tim Bontemps.
Okay, yeah.
One more time for those at home. Tim Bontemps.
Yep.
If you greatest NBA reporter ever, Tim Bontemps.
Yep.
So, Mr. Bontemps, I can't do this anymore. So, Gordon Hayward, how much do you think this is going to affect the Celtics?
They've been playing fine. Cardiac Kemba, dude. It's insane.
Cardiac Kemba.
They've been playing amazing.
Crazy.
With or without him there, I think they've been insane. They're 10-1. It's crazy.
They're the best team in the East right now.
Yep. Best team in the league, actually, by record.
Yeah. Technically, yeah.
Which is crazy.
So Gordon Hayward, I think Celtics might be okay without him.
They'll be
at least not in the long run. I think they will need his scoring down the stretch to really get. But if they are like a 1 or 2 seed team, they're gonna need him.
But if he's only gone for 6 weeks, they'll be fine. They can hold on.
Exactly.
They can hold down the fort.
Yeah.
My biggest concern is how is Gordon Hayward going to continue streaming without one of his hands?
Yeah, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, you can't play video games with one hand.
Yeah.
It's just not possible.
Yep. Next thing. Carmelo Anthony has signed an NBA contract.
Yes.
He is playing for the first time in over 300 days.
Yes.
Carmelo Anthony was out of the league. I mean, technically not out of the league, but he hasn't played basically out of the league.
Yeah.
In almost a year, he was blackballed.
Oh, was he? He wasn't just bad?
Yeah, he wasn't just bad. So, Mr. Wojnarowski, Adrian Wojnarowski, 1 day ago. Actually,
this might as well just be the Woj pod with 2 teenagers commenting.
Yeah, basically. Portland is signing Carmelo Anthony, league sources tell ESPN.
I think they're just fully embracing the tank this year.
I think that Portland is terrible, and we'll get to Portland later. Portland is garbage. I don't know why they're so bad.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe Damian Lillard just finally realized that he shouldn't have to carry this trash-ass team
He
anymore.
asked for more weight to carry. He got what he wanted.
Yeah, I guess so. He wanted to go for a new max.
But yeah,
But they're terrible. The Portland Trailblazers are terrible.
Here's the
they
thing.
might miss the playoffs if they continue to play like
this. They
this.
always go on a second half of the season stretch, but I think signing Melo, you can't get worse than they've done now, but signing Melo somehow makes you worse than they are.
The only way they could get worse is if they were like, okay, we're going to sign Melo,
and then
we're going to sign J.R. Smith and Lance Stevenson. Yeah. Bring Lance over from China, have him just
bring over Michael Beasley.
Have Michael Beasley gives everybody a contact high when he walks as soon as he walks in the locker room. So Carmelo Anthony.
I think the thing with Melo is he can be okay providing a little bit of play time off the bench. Maybe, 15, 20 minutes a game, he can be somewhat helpful. But I've heard people talking about how this is going to be like another Dwight Howard thing where he realizes that he's not the same as he was.
Because it's another non-guaranteed contract.
Right, but I don't think Melo I don't think he mentally will be able to, I don't think he'll be okay with taking such a reduced role. Yeah. It's going to be like an Allen Iverson thing where he's barely clinging onto a team, onto a roster spot, and he eventually, no team wants him because he refuses to come off the bench.
Yeah, I mean, that's already kind of the case now, or at least it was the case for almost last year. He only, if you looked, you were like, okay, Michael Beasley's on a roster, Lance Stevenson's on a roster, a lot of, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is on a roster. You're like, Carmelo Anthony's probably better than at least a good majority of 12th through 15th men in the NBA. But he just is completely unable to come off the bench. Sorry, we got a little abruptly cut off. Dogs Part 2. They were just so loud.
Yeah, it's a mess.
So back to Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony he can't let his pride get in the way if he wants to continue playing professional basketball in the NBA.
Which, I mean, I'm happy that he's upset. I don't want anybody to have to be jobless, especially when it comes to doing something.
I have a little less sympathy when you have a couple
when it's your own
$100 million in the bank account.
That's but I don't see.
And you're a guaranteed first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, that's always nice. But I don't see this working out with Portland. I think this will be his last stop. He'll probably retire after the season because no team's going to want him.
Yeah, and here's the other thing that people are failing to mention when they give him the Dwight Howard comparison. Dwight Howard was picked up by a championship contender. The Lakers are a championship contender. They will probably end up winning one in the next couple of years, if not this year. Carmelo Anthony is going to, at this point in the season, a complete shithole. Mm-hmm. Portland is garbage. They've been terrible through the first 12 games. They're 4-8. Damian Lillard's been carrying. Nobody else has been doing anything, and which is uncharacteristic of some of those guys like CJ.
Hassan Whiteside pisses me off so much.
I do not like Hassan Whiteside.
He's one of those players. He'll go into the locker room. He'll have 11 points and 6 rebounds at halftime, and he'll say, "All right, I need to get 4 more points. I need to get 7 more rebounds in the second half." He will get those points and rebounds, and then stop playing basketball.
He's a numbers guy. He's really good at filling up the box score. He's like what people try to make Russell Westbrook, right? Russell Westbrook plays with passion, and he fills up the stats.
Yeah. Hassan Whiteside
just fills up the stats and is he doesn't care. He got paid and he doesn't care.
Yep.
He worked, you hear those stories about Hassan Whiteside working his ass off to, really get out of the G League and, all that stuff. Which is an accomplishment, but then
you have to continue.
He got his bag. He was a borderline all-star, and then he was like, oh, I'm set for life. My grandkids are set for life. I don't need to play basketball anymore. And he's just not hungry. Which is, this is a legitimate question. Would you rather have Myers Leonard right now over Hassan Whiteside? Because that's basically who they gave up for him. I still think I'd probably rather have Hassan Whiteside because at least he'll get some rebounds.
Yeah, but it's a question.
You could probably put some legitimate thought into being who would I rather have?
Myers Leonard's ass, but at least he tries and he supports his team.
He's a classic good locker room guy.
He supports his teammates.
Yeah, he supports his teammates. He's he's not going to go crazy in the box score. But
that game against the Warriors where he dropped like 30.
That's true. Didn't he get a 5x5 last year?
That was Yusuf Nurkic.
Oh, that's right. Okay. But back to Carmelo Anthony. He's going into a situation that is not similar to the one Dwight Howard went into. He is not the same. Like, all criticisms of Dwight Howard's behavior the last couple years aside, like, he's been erratic. He's been kind of, like...
Toxic.
He's been toxic to some of his teammates. Especially, like, basically, since he's left Orlando. That's why, like...
Yeah.
He hasn't been an all-star in, like, 4 or 5 years now. But
this season,
he still seems hungry. He still seems to want it.
I think this season... I think you could have argued, like, the past 2 years or maybe, he wasn't, like, as hungry for it. He wasn't... He didn't really have as much passion. I think
you got a wake-up call.
Yeah. I think realizing that he's not guaranteed a roster spot, teams aren't like
lining up to get Dwight
they're not
Howard
actively
anymore.
searching for him on their team. Yeah, I think he noticed like he has to change up his act. He's got to rejuvenate his game, his career, and it's worked out. He's been great off of that.
Yeah, and not playing in the NBA for almost a year, getting not slandered because he deserved it. Like he deserved Carmelo Anthony. All the shit people have been talking about him is absolutely deserved. Like he deserved.
I do feel like he got kind of screwed over in Houston just because it was only 10 games in. You can't expect...
It was 10 games in and they sat him, but I feel wasn't that a mutual thing, kind of? Like, weren't they both like, this isn't going to work out, or this isn't working out?
But that's the thing is, Daryl Morey and that entire front office only looks at statistics and doesn't look at actual on-court play.
Oh, but he was, like, arguably worse on court.
Right, but when you...
his statistics were actually okay.
His statistics were, compared, like... I think when you look into super deep analytics, he didn't look good, but I feel like you have to give somebody...
Let's pull it up, because I feel like he was averaging, like, 12 on,
I'm not talking about, like, just regular
45%.
box score stats. I mean, like, when you look into deep, like, team analytics. So that's what that's what the whole Rockets team is based off of, is just looking at...
Plus, minus, like, what are the best lineups? And
just looking at a piece of paper and determining your lineups based
off shot charts and all that stuff.
So it's like...
it's almost won them a championship 2 years in a row, but, like...
That's because they have James Harden.
Yeah, James Harden is really... Hot take. This is what this podcast is all about. Hot take. James Harden, good at basketball.
Yeah.
We'll put up a Twitter poll for that
one. But I mean, I do feel like it wasn't going to work out either way. But I feel like you could have given a few more than 10 games. You know?
Yeah, if he was still, but in the Western Conference, like you don't have 10 games to give up.
But
really, in the NBA,
it wasn't like even entirely Carmelo's fault. The whole team was ass until James Harden started dropping 45 a game.
Well, and wasn't Chris Paul hurt too?
Yeah, Chris Paul wasn't playing much, and the whole team was just a complete shit show until James Harden started dropping 45 a game.
Yeah, which he's
doing now.
Which I've got him on my fantasy team, so that's pretty sweet.
Hey, last night Bradley Beal outplayed him.
He's single-handedly carrying my team against you this week.
Well, I'm winning, so
yeah. But if I didn't have James Harden, if I just had like a regular shooting guard or even a different All-Star, I'd be getting my ass kicked.
If Brandon Ingram didn't sit out the past 2 games, I would be winning.
Listen, you're getting carried by Andrew Wiggins right now, so I don't really want to hear
Bradley Beal's popping off. All right, we're getting off.
We're getting off topic. Carmelo Anthony is going to have to. I mean, listen, not playing in the NBA for 300 days is about as big of a wake-up call as you can have as a pro basketball player. What is he, like a 10-time All-Star?
Yeah. I remember those the jackets they had with the pins, and LeBron and Wade had like it was all filled up, and then Melo's was just like All-Star,
and I think he made like a couple All NBA teams.
Yeah, and then like it was sad.
And that's the other thing. The difference between Dwight Howard and Carmelo is Dwight Howard plays some defense.
Dwight Howard also came close to winning in his prime.
Yeah, that's true. 2 things that separate Dwight Howard and Carmelo Anthony. So let's move on now. Let's talk about David Fizdale and the New York Knickerbockers.
I'm not a Knicks fan. I'm pretty much indifferent to them. I couldn't care less about what the Knicks are doing because they suck. But if David Fizdale actually gets fired, I will be genuinely angry.
And I like David. Here's the thing. So I have a complicated relationship with the Knicks because I'm a Pacers fan. You're a Pacers fan.
Yep.
We're both Pacers fans. That might have been something to lead the podcast with.
Yeah,
but
not important.
We're Pacers fans. I also like the Spurs, and you like the Bulls.
Yep.
But I'm a Pacers fan, so realistically, like, if I was basing it on history, I should not like the New York Knicks. Because the New York Knicks, like, either they were kicking the Pacers' ass in the 90s, or we were kicking their ass. It was one of the biggest rivalries in the NBA.
Yeah, but if you look at the Knicks in, like, the past 15 years, you kind of feel bad.
Well, that's kind of where I get to, is I'm like, at this point, like, the rivalry's dead. The Pacers have been consistently better than the Knicks. I think the last time they played in the playoffs, it was, like, Pacers 1-6 or 7. So, Pacers have gone to more Eastern Conference Finals.
Pacers have just made the playoffs more than, like, twice in the past 10 years.
That's true. That's true, too. Well,
the Knicks are a shit show.
The Knicks are terrible, and I complain about the Pacers a lot, but if James Dolan was the owner of the Pacers, I would...
be very sad.
I would consider switching fan bases. Like...
Yeah.
He's maybe the worst owner in all of American professional sports right now.
Yeah. Arguably, maybe in history. I think there's a debate to be had.
Donald Sterling.
He was just a racist, though.
But he was also a terrible owner. Like,
yeah.
He was very racist, but he a terrible person. But on top of that, he also, like, never wanted to pay big money for free agents. Like, he just wasn't... And he was in fucking Los Angeles. If you can get...
Yeah, but it's the Clippers.
I know, but if you can't, like...
The Clippers are good, don't get me wrong, but the Lakers are always going to be the star of Los Angeles.
No, I get it, but, like, I still think a lot of free agents would be fine with going to the Clippers because it's still Los Angeles. It's still the second biggest market in sports. Like, but anyway, back to David Fizdale, Mr. Fizz, the New York Knicks. The Knicks are the worst...
run organization.
They're the worst run organization in the NBA over the past 10 years. They're the worst team in the NBA, I think, personally. Like,
record would show otherwise.
But they're getting blown out.
Yeah.
Like, routinely.
Unless you're playing the Mavs.
Like, I think that the Pelicans have a worse record, but they're also playing in a lot of close games.
And they're in the West.
Like, if they were in the East, they'd probably be in the playoff picture right now, considering I think Charlotte is right now, right?
No. Yeah, they are, because they're 5-7.
Yeah, so the New York Knicks, they're the worst team in the East. They're 3-9 through 12 games. I don't see them winning more than 15 games this year.
I could see maybe 20.
Maybe 20 if RJ Barrett, like, starts to pop off, because he's gotten a little cold.
Well, he's also been out.
And he's been out, yeah. Yeah, so record would show otherwise. They are...
No, they're the worst. They're second worst team in the league according to record. But
yeah, the only team worse is the Warriors at 2-11.
Yeah. So maybe record doesn't show otherwise. I guess I thought they'd won like 1 or 2 more games, but
no.
It's also said that two of their 3 wins came against the Mavericks.
They've already beat the Mavericks twice.
Yeah.
Did they beat them? I didn't even
they
know
own.
they had played twice.
It's like that. There's that meme on SpongeBob where it's like the Knicks versus every other team, and it's like SpongeBob with like the smooth skin or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And then it's like the Knicks against the Mavericks,
SpongeBob.
and it's like buff SpongeBob. Yeah.
Yeah. So back to Fizdale. David Fizdale is a hell of a coach.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say he's like top of the game, but
I don't know if he's top of the game, but he's a good basketball coach.
He is a good coach.
He's kind of like Dave Yeager, honestly. Like he's like in the East, he should if he has a decent front office, he can work with players.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. The thing I don't understand is when you see, first of all, who holds a press conference immediately after the game, and then you announce that you're planning on firing someone, and you don't. Now they have to coach the team, and they think they're going to lose their job. That's already stupid. And then in the press conference, like, yeah, the Knicks aren't expecting to, like, they aren't playing to the level we expected them to. And they,
no shit.
Steve Mills was actively trying to convince James Dolan that the team he assembled is better than the record shows.
They have like 5 power forwards.
You can ask a 5-year-old that has seen 1 basketball game by just showing them the Knicks roster, and they could tell you that it's the worst team in the league.
Yeah, I mean, I am an idiot. I am not smart, but I've followed sports for long enough to know that 5 or 4 or whatever, that's too many power forwards.
Yeah, when you have Marcus Morris and Julius Randle bringing up the ball, like what? When you have a roster composed of what they have,
that's absurd.
What was Fizdale supposed to do with the team he was given? Like, it's so bad. And like, these are players that are good, in the right situations, and this is not a good situation for anybody. I don't think...
Not even the fans.
Yeah. Like, players like Bobby Portis are good players, but not with the team that is currently assembled.
They got a lot of, like, decent role players. Like, guys who would be, like, the 6th or 7th man off the bench for a championship team. Yeah. You're just not going to, like... You're not going to do anything with that. Like, yeah. And as much as I think that Frank Ntilikina is probably better than him right now, you gotta, like, at least throw out Dennis Smith Jr.
I don't think he's with the team. He's still out.
Is he still out?
He might be, because
he still just wasn't playing.
He was playing. He was just bad. He was averaging 1 point per game.
Wasn't he only getting 9 minutes, though?
I don't know.
Either way, it's like...
RJ's over here, when he does play, he's playing 50 minutes a game, and it's just a mess.
Yeah, the Knicks are terrible. James Dolan is terrible. He's thin-skinned. He doesn't like routinely throwing out fans for saying something that they're right. Like the entire New York sports media, every time you turn on ESPN and they're talking about the Knicks, it's always like James Dolan sucks. James Dolan sucks.
Fire James.
James Dolan.
If any Knicks fans are watching this and are planning on going to a game anytime soon, get as many people together as you can. Publicize it.
All of you.
Yeah, publicize it. Do whatever you have to do. Get as many people in the arena as you can chanting "Fire James Dolan."
Yeah.
Or just don't support him.
Yeah, or don't go to a fucking Knicks game. Why would you do that?
If you really insist on going to a Knicks game, get everyone you possibly can to yell "Fire James Dolan," because if he kicks out, first of all, if he's dedicated enough to having people not say to fire him, that he kicks out 60-70% of the arena, that's a success.
If he's actually gonna do that, then like let him do it.
Yeah.
Right? Like
there's no way you can though. I mean,
I don't like James Dolan.
No, if I saw James Dolan IRL, I wouldn't do it because he's probably got security.
Yeah, he would definitely sue you.
But I would want to punch him.
I would give him a stern discipline.
And I am not. I don't care for the Knicks, and I still want to hit James Dolan.
Yeah, honestly, I guess the only thing worse than hating a franchise is feeling sympathy for them, because you gotta
pity.
They've got to be real. Like, you have to be terrible for me to just like pity you. Like, it's
bad.
It's bad,
but if
David Fizdale loses his job for this,
I don't think he's the right coach for them, because
is anybody the right coach for this roster? Like, who's able to make rosters with 5 power forwards?
Phil Jackson. Popovich? Just bring back Phil Jackson. I don't know.
Have him run the triangle with 4 power forwards.
Have him run the triangle with Taj Gibson, Bobby Portis, and Julius Randle.
Oh, Jesus. That would be a disaster.
Marcus Morris has been playing well, so that's nice.
Marcus Morris is always solid.
Always like how he was. I like how he's trashing, talking trash at the beginning. He's like, teams are gonna come in thinking they can punk us, and they can't, and they are getting punked.
They're getting punked routinely because they are terrible at basketball. They're so bad.
Yeah. But the one positive to come out of the Knicks sucking is you get very funny Stephen A. Smith rants.
Stephen A. Smith ranting is one of the most magical things in sports media.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Stephen A. Smith ranting about really anything is great, but especially about stuff he actually cares about. Yep. Like, if you get him talking about the Knicks or the Steelers, which are his 2 teams.
Mm-hmm. That day when we found out the Knicks didn't offer Kevin Durant a max, that was heaven.
All time Stephen A. Smith rant.
Yep.
Right there, baby. It was beautiful, a beautiful sight to see. And I really like Stephen A. Smith. He's one of my favorite people.
He's entertaining.
I don't want to see him in pain, but
it's funny when
his pain is it's undeniably excellent to watch.
Yeah.
It's great television. No wonder he's getting $8 million a year or whatever ridiculous contract he's getting.
He gets the views.
So, but we haven't really talked about David Fizdale.
He doesn't need to be fired. That's enough said. I mean, he's a good coach. He's doing the best he can with the roster.
But he doesn't need to be fired. But the Knicks, they had fucking Mike D'Antoni, and I think they fired him after 2 years.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. The Knicks go through coaches like the Browns go through coaches.
Here's the thing. I believe there are 2 coaches in the league right now that need to be fired. Those being Jim Boylan and Luke Walton. If they can keep their jobs, David Fizdale.
Then why can't Fizdale keep his job? Yeah, except where's Chicago on this?
Very, very low. They're
4-8.
Yeah, they're very bad.
4-8. Yeah, not so good.
But
and 4-7 for Sacramento. I mean, the Knicks are worse than that, but David Fizdale's legitimately good.
Yeah, when you compare the rosters.
The fact that Dave Yeager doesn't have a job is honestly the most ridiculous part of this.
He leads the Kings to basically their best.
Their best season in like 12
Their
years.
best season's like 2003 or 2004.
6.
6?
Yeah, I think 6 was last year they made the playoffs.
Okay.
Either way, mid-2000s.
Yeah.
George W. Bush
He leads
was in
them.
office.
He leads them to just the 9th seed in the West with one of the youngest teams in the league, the most fun teams in the league, and then you for no reason you just fire him.
Vlade Divac had to have a hell of a plan in place to do that. Like I think the only thing is the players must have hated him.
But the only thing we really saw from that was him getting into it with Buddy Hield near the end of the season.
And players get into it with their coaches all the time. I think the more damning thing for Yeager was his comments about Luka.
Yeah.
Because he said that he would basically want Luka
over Bagley.
I mean, he didn't say that directly, but he was like, I was really hoping we would draft Luka. Like, I was like, ooh, maybe don't say that.
Yeah, that's rough. But he's a good coach.
He's a good coach. And maybe he knows to keep his mouth shut a little bit more about his personnel now.
I think the most upsetting thing about this, and I like the Kings.
I like the Kings. They're one of my favorite teams in the West. I like their, they have good fans. Yeah,
they're entertained.
They're one of the only
most upsetting thing for me is you have De'Aaron Fox on your team, and they have like the 3rd slowest pace in the league. Like they have
the fastest guy in the league,
and they have one of the slowest. I don't know if it's exactly 3rd, but they're like at the bottom of pace.
Dave Yeager would not be.
Would never.
He would never do that. And honestly, I think this just comes down to the fact that Luke Walton has gotten jobs because he went 39-4 or whatever with the Warriors. That one.
Yeah, with arguably one of the best. No, not arguably. He is one of the best point guards of all time.
Yeah.
Steph Curry, yeah.
Probably 2nd or 3rd.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can even say 3rd. So I guess let's just go into a Kings rant right now. Kings rant now.
Buddy Hield, play up to your contract.
Play up to your contract. What the fuck are you doing? You hold out, basically, like...
Yeah, he's like, I'm leaving if I don't get the money I want.
He's like, who wants to go play in Sacramento? Like, he said, he was kind of rude about it, honestly. I mean, that's just kind of shitty to the fans. Like, oh, well, we live in Sacramento.
Yeah, I mean, again, Sacramento's not the most ideal place to live in if you're in California.
But sorry, you're getting paid $110 million.
He did not deserve the money he was asking for. He got close to it. With incentives,
I think he will get it.
Yeah, but he's not going to get those incentives if he keeps playing like a trash can. That's not going to happen.
And as much as I think it did get him fired, honestly, and it was basically the only problem. Marvin Bagley is so injury prone. Like, I think that
how much has he played this season? Has he played
like 4 or 5 games?
Nick,
he's so good when he's on the court. Yeah. He's good. He's a rebounding machine. He's good at shot blocking. He's explosive. He's good at basketball, but he's constantly hurt.
Yeah.
Like, when you have a guy like that, maybe it just comes down to the strength coaches. Like, maybe they just have a problem there.
I don't know. I just want the Kings to be good.
I do too. I want them to make the playoffs.
And that's not... they were so close last year. I think everyone predicted a jump, and it's just not happening, and it's very disappointing.
But let's talk about Luke Walton real quick.
Fire him, please.
Fire
Get him out of there
immediately. I was...
Have Vlade Divac write a handwritten apology
to Dave Yeager. Please come back.
And ask him to come back.
We will give you $1 billion to come back. We need you so bad.
Yeah, whatever you have to do, get Walton out of there.
I legitimately, like, I did not think Luke Walton was the main problem with the Lakers last year. I knew some people, like, there were rumblings of him being the major problem with the Lakers. And I still don't think he was the major problem with the Lakers.
But seeing him coach like this, he's
terrible.
Yeah,
I was definitely wrong that he didn't have anything to do with the Lakers' problems. Like, he definitely did. But he's just bad. He's a bad coach.
Yeah, not good.
Let's get into the big segment for today.
Ooh.
Biggest surprises and disappointments for the first few weeks of the NBA season.
How many are we doing?
2 each.
2 each? All right.
2 surprises, 2 disappointments, and then we both do that once.
Sure.
So, you want to lead off?
Biggest surprise for me, Andrew Wiggins, baby. Got him in the last pick of fantasy. You all were sleeping. And now he is carrying, well, not carrying, but he is like the second best player on my fantasy team, and I love it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's beautiful.
Can't do that. All right, so we have Mr. Wiggins' basketball reference pulled up.
He's averaging 26 points per game. Oh my, he's efficient.
And yeah, that's honestly the most shocking point of this is he's putting up.
He looks like when I watch the Timberwolves, 30. I'm genuinely just happy because Andrew Wiggins looks like he cares about basketball, and he's the team's closer, which is even more beautiful.
Honestly, going into the season, I thought that Andrew Wiggins' ceiling, and I thought that this was the highest ceiling he could possibly get. I thought that he would be one of those weird like guys you look back and you were like, I didn't realize he was an all-star. Like, he makes, like, the edge of one all-star team.
Like, he makes one all-star team because of injury.
Yeah, like Christian Laettner.
Kyle
Korver, or the Googs, Tom Gugliotta.
He's balling out, and I love it
I thought that was his ceiling, but right now he's actually looking like he's worth that ridiculous contract that he got.
Yes, I love it so much.
Disappointment.
Disappointment for me we already covered the Kings. Marc Gasol, I think he'd be up there. He hasn't been playing well. Look, the Raptors have been playing well, but he hasn't.
Yeah, they haven't really needed him to play well, but he still should be. Like,
it'd be nice and make it easier.
It'd be really nice if he was actually playing well.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go disappointment first. I am so disappointed, and we touched on this a little bit earlier. The Portland Trailblazers are so terrible. They're coming off of their first Western Conference Finals berth in years. Damian Lillard is playing like an MVP candidate, and then the rest of their team is just terrible. They're not playing well at all.
Yeah, it's a mess. We touched slightly on some of their problems, but it's bad.
Yeah.
Dame's averaging 30 something around there.
He's putting up ridiculous numbers, 30.5 points a game. He's just it's just.
CJ needs to step up.
Needs to step up.
He's supposed to be that second guy behind Dame, the helper, and he is not. He's been doing the opposite of helping.
Yeah, he's been terrible. Hassan Whiteside needs to maybe figure out how to care again. Honestly, I think this also comes down to Yusuf Nurkic being hurt.
Yeah, that doesn't help. Zach Collins is out too.
Yeah. Is Rodney Hood playing?
Yeah, he's been solid for them, but.
But you're not gonna get more than 15 points from Rodney Hood on any given night. It's just they gotta start playing like a team. They got a good coach. They've got good. They have a good roster. They have a legit roster.
Yeah. But
they've got some injuries. They've got some players that maybe do not care about basketball right now.
Yeah, it's a mess. And
it's bad.
Knowing the Blazers, they always start out weak and they finish strong and somehow make the playoffs.
But I don't even know. I legitimately cannot find a strength in this team.
Yeah,
that isn't Damian Lillard. They're bad defensively. They're bad offensively. It's just they're hard to watch.
Terry Stotts needs to figure it out.
And Terry Stotts is a great coach. He'll figure it out. I don't think Terry Stotts is the problem though.
Yeah, but when your team is this bad and is playing as badly as they are, you got to look at everybody. You can't just see, he's historically been a good coach, so he's not at fault here. Some of it definitely falls on him.
That's true. He is the head coach. Some of it should fall on him, but they're so
bad.
Everything's going wrong for them.
Yep.
Terry Stotts isn't the major issue there. My other biggest surprise, though, is the Boston Celtics.
Cardiac Kemba, baby.
Cardiac Kemba. And I'll be honest, I'll throw out where my allegiances lie right now. I'm not a big Celtics fan, or really just
arguably least favorite team for you, right?
Yeah, Lakers.
So second least favorite.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't like classic NBA teams. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of really Boston sports in general. But the Boston Celtics are playing ridiculously well. They do have a bunch of players that I like, so it's not really that. But the Boston Celtics, including Cardiac Kemba Walker.
There we go. He's averaging about 25.
25.
Here's the thing.
5 and 5.
Even
along to go with the
even with his stats being this great, just watching them, they're
gelling.
He's doing everything.
Jaylen Brown, though,
he's been playing pretty decent.
Going into the season, I think when he got that absurd contract, everybody was like, "Oh, that's crazy! Like he doesn't deserve it," and he hasn't proven that he deserves it or anything.
But he's been definitely.
But he's actually been kind of like playing up to it, and so that's at the very least kind of nice to see him playing because I've always liked Jaylen Brown anyway.
Yeah.
It's good to see like a guy like that playing well and like actually making his money. Buddy Hield. As you so eloquently mentioned earlier,
he's ass.
He's terrible.
One thing I'm not super happy with is Jason Tatum, though.
Shit.
Whenever I watch the Celtics play, he's got his games where he's good, but there's just when the things he does on the basketball court sometimes.
He's routinely on any given offensive possession, he's maybe the worst player on the floor.
I don't remember exactly what game it was where I saw this, but Jason Tatum lost the ball, and then he took the team kept getting the boards, and he took 3 bad shots consecutively.
He's really good at doing that.
And he missed all of them. And whenever I watch the Celtics, which I gotta be honest, even though they're this good, I haven't been watching them a lot.
Yeah.
But
alright, Colin Coward.
Look, man, the few games that I have seen of the Celtics, I have not been happy with Jason Tatum.
And maybe it's just because their offense, they have an offense that features Kemba Walker and a Jaylen Brown that's playing well, and that's kind of all they've needed.
Mm-hmm.
But
Marcus Smart's been playing incredible.
Marcus Smart's a great player.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys. He's the classic. Love him if he's on your team. Hate him if he's on the other one.
He's been guarding the other team's bigs, which doesn't make sense because he's not that big. Yeah. But it's been working. He's genuinely been playing great defense. Yeah. He's been shooting pretty efficiently from deep.
Which is not usually.
Yeah, it's not a Marcus Smart. It's not common
characteristic. Yeah. And they've got fun rookies too.
I love Carson Edwards.
Carson Edwards is both of our favorite rookie.
Yeah.
I am. I'll say it. I'm an IU fan, but Carson Edwards. If I care, I don't really have that many allegiances to college basketball anyway. So Carson Edwards is a dub for them. And they also have Romeo. So best of both worlds for me.
I basically only watch college basketball come to the tourney, and watching Purdue was so much fun when Carson Edwards was out.
Yeah, it was great. Purdue was honestly my favorite team in the tournament.
And when Carson Edwards earlier, I can't remember if it was in preseason. I think it was where he had his 30.
8 threes in a quarter or whatever.
It was crazy.
8 threes in 6 minutes.
It was crazy.
He was playing crazy well. He's fun to watch. He's probably not going to get rotation minutes because that team's so deep. But
I can see him being a good six. I can
see him being a good NBA player.
Oh yeah, because he's one of those players where he can. At any given time, he can just get hot in a second, and it's over for the other team.
And double-edged sword, kind of, because he'll have nights where he'll shoot 3 of 21.
If you let him take 21 shots.
Well, that's true. He's not going to be carrying the offensive load like he did in college.
Yeah.
But he's fun to watch. He's a good dude.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Carson Edwards.
Yep.
You get a full first podcast endorsement goes to Carson Edwards.
Oh, there you
fully endorsed Carson.
And I apologize, everyone, but we didn't talk about him earlier, but Taco Fall. He's not even really playing, but you gotta love the guy.
Taco Fall. I love Taco Fall. Yeah. Who doesn't love Taco Fall? You gotta be
if you
watch... Hating Taco Fall is like hating a puppy. He's just
you're like a horrible person.
Yeah, you're terrible. You're terrible.
Yeah.
If you hate Taco Fall, I hate you.
Please stop watching. No, please don't stop watching.
Yeah, actually, if you're a viewer on this, Do not stop watching under any circumstances.
Please.
Please don't. Please don't stop watching. Okay. Another big disappointment.
I'm trying to think. Maybe the Pelicans.
I mean, it can be a player or a team. Like, it can be a player, too.
I know, but we've covered the big teams that I'm like, let's chill. Maybe the Bulls, just because they're not great. And Jim Boylan's needs to be fired.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
If I go by a day without hearing Aditya say that Jim Boylan should be fired, I think that something's wrong. Like, that's a cry for help if Aditya's like... If Aditya ever says, like, James Dolan's honestly, like, doing a really good job in Chicago right now.
You said James Dolan.
I'm sorry. Jim Boylan. If I hear Aditya saying... Giving Jim Boylan a compliment besides he looks like a thumb.
That's not a compliment.
That's not even a compliment.
I hate Jim Boylan so much.
Yeah.
But
so what's wrong with the Bulls right now? Like they're your team. Like I like the Bulls, but they're your.
Lauri Markkanen's been trash, so that's something. And he's like my favorite player in the league. So
that's big from you to admit that Lowry's playing like garbage, which he is.
The Bulls they're not even like horrible rotationally. They're just not hitting their open shots, which is so frustrating. And it makes me so sad.
Yeah, it's
because like when I watch them, it's like Jim Boylan's not an ideal coach, but the team gets open looks, and
honestly, they had I think it was like February last year that they were playing really well, and people were like, "Is Jim Boylan legit?" And I think the month of February basically got him that extension.
Don't remind me.
Yeah,
but
sorry.
It's the Bulls. They've been getting good looks offensively, and they just miss them. And that's just basically the gist of it.
And that's gonna settle out. I still think that they're gonna contend for the playoffs.
In the East, yeah.
In the East. My biggest disappointment. Give me just a second.
While you do that, I'm gonna talk about my other happy surprise.
Yeah.
Phoenix Suns. Love it so much. Devin Booker's been playing great. Kelly Oubre has been looking great. Aaron Baines.
Kelly Oubre always looks great. Yeah. What do you mean?
Aaron Baines is an MVP candidate.
Yeah.
Basically.
I mean, if he's not already the MVP.
Yeah. Signing Ricky Rubio, I think going into the season we were like, why did they offer him so much money? And while I still believe he's a little bit overpaid because they probably could have gotten him for cheaper, but
because it's Ricky Rubio.
Yeah, but his impact is insane. The way Devin Booker doesn't have to play on the ball as much anymore. The whole team as a whole is playing better. Ricky Rubio always brings good defense. It's been beautiful. And seeing a team like the Suns who've sucked so much for so long.
They have terrible ownership, terrible front office.
Yeah.
Them actually being okay.
It makes me happy. And their coaching is good finally. They don't have a new coach every year. I still don't understand why Igor
Koshkov.
Yeah, why he had a job. They hired him because he was Luka's coach, and they didn't draft Luka, and I don't understand. But they're good now, and that's cool.
That's nice. Biggest disappointment. I'm gonna catch a little bit of shit for this because I was excited to see what the Warriors could do this year because I spent 3 years not liking the Warriors. And I spent the 2 years prior really liking the Warriors.
Yeah, like everyone.
Like everybody. Like, it's hard to hate a guy.
2015 Warriors were like one of the most likable teams.
Yeah, and 2016 too. Like, they were just completely destroying the NBA. They had two super nice guys in Draymond Green leading the front. Like, and I was ready to get back to that. I was excited to see the new look, old look Warriors. Like, I was like, Klay's probably not going to be in there, but he'll be back by playoff time. Like, Warriors probably go 38 I was convinced they would be like the 4 seed.
I thought that was a bit excessive.
They're going to be really good. Because I thought Steph Curry was going to play like an MVP,
which he didn't in the games that he did play.
Which he didn't, and then he broke his hand, so that kind of sucked. I was excited to see the old look Warriors again, and they were bad, and they're tanking for James Wiseman. So
it makes me sad because D'Lo's hurt and he was doing well while Steph Curry was out, and now he's hurt. And
because who else is going to score baskets for the Warriors besides DAngelo Russell? Like, is there
Eric
anybody?
Pascal? Eric Pascal.
Ooh, Eric Pascal.
Hey, man, he's a hooper.
I like Eric Pascal, but he can't be your number 2 offensive
Sure he
weapon
can.
right now.
You might not win, but he can.
Yeah, technically, yes, he can. And Mr. Pascal is a rookie.
Yes, he is. What about that?
I was like, was he like a G League guy or a rookie? Like, I wasn't sure.
No, but yeah, he's been good. But the Warriors,
like, you can't have a rookie who either second round or undrafted be your number 2.
Draymond Green hasn't been great.
Draymond Green hasn't played, too.
Yeah,
like, he's played very little.
In the games where he has played, though, I haven't.
He's been garbage. Yeah,
and
maybe do you think that's maybe just the new norm for Draymond?
I mean,
like,
he's never been bad. He's never been too much of a scorer, but 28% from 3, which
you can't just don't take him.
Yeah, and his defense it's been like good. It's not like what you expect from Draymond Green.
Yeah, when Draymond Green can guard pretty much anybody, like anybody, court,
yeah,
legitimately anybody, 1 through 5. When he is playing bad defense, then something is wrong because Draymond Green is one of those guys like, like when your youth coach is like good defense leads to good offense. Draymond Green makes his offense through his defense.
Yep.
When Draymond Green is scoring well, it's because he's playing good defense. So Draymond not playing good defense, like, it's just not a recipe for success with Mr. Green.
And it's so unexpected from him too. I mean, when it's Draymond Green playing bad defense is like the Knicks winning games.
Yeah,
you don't expect it.
It's crazy. It's like Draymond Green playing bad defense is like Jason Tatum scoring 30 or more in a game.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, that's been sad. Disappointing.
Yeah, it's been sad. I still don't think the dynasty is over, though. I do think that they probably get...
They might be taking a 1-year break, but
They might be taking a 1-year break. We'll be back after this commercial. Like,
yeah. I think if Clay comes back and he's still a sharpshooter, which I don't think that will really ever go away. If he can still...
he's not exactly the most mobile guy in the world anyway. Like, him tearing his ACL is not the same as Russell Westbrook tearing his ACL.
Right.
It doesn't sap him of his already poignant athleticism. Like, he's not gonna...
But yeah, I mean, if he can come back and still clamp up, he'll be really... Which he will. He'll be useful. Steph Curry coming back.
They're taking their time.
He'll be fine.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Steph Curry might sit out the season.
Klay
Thompson might sit out the season. I doubt Steph Curry wanting to sit out the season, but I think if the doctors were like, hey, it's probably better for you to sit out the season, and then, like, Steve Kerr and the owners and GM were like, maybe you should sit out.
He might do it, but I don't think that's in his DNA.
Yeah. So overall, I've been a little disappointed in the Warriors. Not saying that, like, I guess it wasn't a little expected.
Yeah,
but, like, I didn't expect them to be the 15th team in the West.
Here's
I didn't expect them to be
with all
worse
their
than the
injuries,
Suns.
I can expect it. But even when Steph Curry was on the court, DAngelo Russell was on the court, they were not good.
They were getting their asses blasted every single game.
Yeah, it was still not good.
They were getting routinely blown out. They were bad. Like, they were terrible. It's not a recipe for success.
Mm-hmm.
Now, biggest surprise.
Well,
the Charlotte Hornets are playing
not good.
Like, they're not the worst team in the league right now.
Which is so surprised, yeah.
And they're not even, like...
They're in the playoff contention.
They're the they're the 7th best team by record in the East, and they're below 500. They've already won 5 games.
Yeah.
Which is, like, that's insane. I think most people going into the season were like, they might break the losses record.
Devonte Graham's been
insane.
Yeah,
like,
MIP candidate. Malik Monk hit that buzzer beater against the Pistons. That was cool.
Malik Monk is just kind of good. Like,
he's okay.
Like, he's got. I think he can have a nice little coming out party here.
And Terry Rozier's had 2 good games in the NBA for this season now.
That's a
One of
probably
them,
2 more than I thought he would have in the first 12 games.
Here's the thing. I held my prediction coming into the season. He'd have 3 good games. He's already had 2, so that's promising for maybe...
He's way above pace.
I mean, he might have 4 or 5 by the end of the season, for being honest.
That's pushing it. But Scary Terry, not so Scary Terry, whatever you want to call him.
Not amazing, but he's been okay some games. Devonte Graham, but he's definitely been...
They're already on pace to not win 12 games.
Yeah.
So that's a plus for them.
But here's one thing that upsets me about Terry Rozier is people held him with such high regard from that one playoff run. Even when all of last season he sucked.
Yeah.
He still got that, $20 million a year, and now Devonte Graham is outplaying him. I mean, you can't, dude, come on. I mean, I don't like that.
Yeah, I think that honestly, it's just they're definitely the biggest surprise, right? Like, I don't think anybody.
The Suns.
I didn't really think the Suns would take a huge step, but I thought that they would probably be better than 13 wins. They won 13 games last year.
I think they won 17 or 18. I think.
Yeah, under 20, in the teens.
Yeah, but the Suns actually winning games is still surprising to me. The Hornets, while they are surprising, they're still under 500, and they've had some good games here and there, but while it's been
I meant surprising as in I am shocked that they're nearly 500.
Yeah.
I thought that they would be I thought that maybe they could squeak out 1 win through the first.
What was the point in signing the Martin twins? What do you gain from that?
Marketing.
No one cares about them.
Having 2 twins on the same team, when I was 10 or 11, and the Pacers signed Tyler Hansbrough, throwback for all those Pacers fans out there. Tyler Hansbrough, remember him? He was kind of good. But when they signed Tyler Hansbrough and his brother Ben Hansbrough in the same offseason, and Ben Hansbrough was terrible, and I think that was Tyler Hansbrough's second to last year in Indy, maybe his last year. I feel like that was more just for marketing, honestly.
Yeah, probably.
Because I was I was imagining billboards with them just back to back with come watch the Hansbroughs.
That's terrible.
Which is it's a bad pun, but it's a great marketing campaign. I think that signing 2 twins, that's less oh, these guys are really good, and more ooh, look at how much money we can maybe make off of their likeness.
Yeah. I don't know.
And honestly, they were gonna be terrible going into the season, so why not take a chance on 2 guys?
PJ Washington, I picked him up after he had that one really good game, and he's been meh.
He's the rookie, right?
Yeah.
Fragger.
He's been meh.
He fragged that first game though.
Yeah. That's what made me sign him.
Oh yeah. So 2 big surprises: Charlotte Hornets, Boston Celtics. 2 biggest disappointments. I don't remember. I honestly don't remember.
Mine were Marc Gasol and I can't remember my other one.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a mess. We're terrible at this. We'll get better.
Yeah,
don't
this
worry.
is the first one.
This is the first one. You want to go ahead and wrap it up?
Yeah.
You have anything else? I mean, if you have something else, we can go longer.
Shout out B.I. He's been playing well. He's
Shout
almost
out
on
Brandon Ingram.
Also on my fantasy team.
Brandon Ingram, actually, if I can say something, I would like to apologize to Brandon Ingram, because I did not think that Brandon Ingram would ever be an all-star. But I think that maybe he was just in the wrong offensive system.
The Lakers have been a shit show.
The Lakers are a shit show.
Not now, but they were in the previous years.
I still think that maybe they're a little bit of a shit... I don't think that they're a shitty organization, but I think that maybe they just got a little lucky with Anthony Davis. I still don't think that... I think that they were lucky that Anthony Davis actually wanted to be there. I think that... God, what's his nuts? GM?
Rob Pelinka?
I still don't think Rob Pelinka is a very good general manager. But they're still they're good.
Yeah.
But Brandon Ingram maybe just wasn't in the right place. So shout out Brandon Ingram. He's playing really well. He's kicking my ass in fantasy this week.
Well, he hasn't played this week at all.
Has he not played this week at all?
He's been out with knee soreness.
Oh, I thought that he was one of those nights where he took...
No.
Oh.
That's why I said I'd be winning by like a lot more if I had him.
Yeah. I thought that I legitimately never thought he would be a great NBA player. He's been a great NBA player, so shout out Brandon Ingram.
Derrick Rose makes me happy too. He's been playing well.
Derrick Rose makes everybody happy when he's playing basketball, even if he's bad. It's like, hey, look at Derrick Rose. I remember 2011.
Look at him.
Look at him. Look at him go. Derrick Rose, just a hooper, absolutely balling. He's basically been helping the Pistons stay afloat.
Langston Galloway at his career high.
Langston Galloway is a god. Actually, the Pistons, the weirdest thing about the Pistons is that Luke Kennard was playing like a god.
Yeah.
Like, he
was just not missing.
He was shooting like 70% from 3 through the first 10 games or something absurd.
Yeah.
Like, he was playing so well. Andre Drummond, the drum dog.
Averaging like 20 boards a game.
Isn't his nickname like the Penguin or something?
Big Penguin or something like that,
That's
yeah.
so sick.
He's at like 20 boards a game, which is insane.
He was hooping.
Yeah. That's all I got.
I think that, like, I don't think that Andre Drummond is really, like, I think he's maybe a little bit of a max player. I don't know if he's a super max player.
He's not a max player.
I think
max player, maybe not. He's not worth anything more, though.
Yeah, I think that he's maybe, like, on the level of DAngelo Russell.
Yeah.
I guess. Like, I think he could maybe get a max from a couple teams. I think the Knicks are going to give him a fat bag.
My only problem with him is whenever I watch the Pistons, like, he doesn't do this all the time, but there are straight possessions where he will just volleyball it off the backboard and just get the rebounds.
Like, if you're doing that, that's kind of dope. Like, I can respect maybe just, if you're patting, like, even, like, Russell Westbrook, who's maybe the guy who's most known as a stat patter right now, he doesn't even do that.
Yeah, that's when you have the physical strength to be able to do that, just do it.
Yeah, I mean, I would do that. I would average like 40 rebounds a game if I was 7 feet tall and like had a 7'3" wingspan or whatever.
And had that big of a frame.
Yeah, he's enormous. He can rebound the ball. He's a monster on the boards. Shout out Andre Drummond. Get your bag.
But not too much of a shout out.
Like, yeah, like not as much of a shout out as Brandon Ingram
and Derrick Rose,
but
like a medium
shout out. Not an extra large shout out. Like, I'd say medium shout out with some onions.
A little bit of sauce.
A little bit of sauce on the side, but not like good sauce,
like the sauce that comes free.
Like that, like ketchup and mayo stuff.
What?
Isn't that a thing?
I don't think so.
Isn't that what Chick-fil-A sauce is?
I don't eat at Chick-fil-A. I'm vegetarian.
Yeah.
Fun fact about me, I'm vegetarian.
Yeah, he is vegetarian. Top 10 vegetarians I know. Number 1, Aditya. He's also probably the only vegetarian I know.
We gotta wrap this up. We're just ranting.
We're just rambling at this point. So shout out to all those people we shouted out, especially Carson Edwards, the baller.
Boogie,
yeah. We're not quite sure when these are going to be uploaded. I think a good bet would be whenever we can get it edited, but I think if we can get it, I think maybe Thursdays are a good day, maybe Wednesdays, because that gives us plenty of time to upload it and get the kinks worked out.
Yeah, but my only problem is we record these on Saturdays.
Yeah, we do record these.
Which I feel like if we were uploaded on like a Thursday, some of the news has already passed.
That's
and
true.
New news has popped up.
So we'll try to get it earlier in the week. Whichever day we first upload it will be the day we always upload it.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
If we can get it up as soon as Monday, then that will happen.
Yeah.
We'll just have to see.
Mm-hmm. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we will. Thank you so much for watching. Drop a like. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, which I don't know why you would before we put
And if you have stayed for this whole hour, thank you.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Shout outs.
I don't even know why you would, because we've just been rambling the last 5 minutes just shouting out random players.
But yeah, so
we'll do a pretty similar. I guess we should probably say like what we're going to be doing each week. I think we're going to probably be doing like we did like 5 major news stories, and then we'll probably do like a big segment at the end. Like it's kind of fun to do surprises and disappointments, but we obviously can't do that every week.
Yeah.
Maybe at some point, like maybe at the quarter season mark, we'll do quarter season MVPs and that sort of thing.
I will figure it out as we go.
Drop a like.
Comment
subscribe.
Some suggestions if you have any for us to improve.
Actually, if you comment, turn on post notifications, because why not?
Why not?
If you're gonna subscribe and not turn on post notifications, we honestly don't even want you.
No, please subscribe. Don't listen
to it. Don't subscribe.
No, please. We need this.
We need this so bad.
I gotta pay for college soon, and it's
Oof.
But yeah, thanks for watching, and see you guys later.
Yeah.